Hey guys, this is day 69 of the RC practice series. The first paragraph of this passage tells us of relatively recent developments in the science of crime detection. Genetic markers in blood were found to be as useful in crime detection as fingerprints. It was found that genetic markers were numerous. They could be divided into several subgroups, and that could help in identification. Also, that they were present in other fluids other than blood. However, there remained a problem. The amount of sample available to police was too small for effective identification. Also, uh, the nature of the sample, because it had spent time to extreme conditions, the sample was likely to be contaminated. The development of the new scientific technique, electrophoresis, came as a hope. It was a possible solution, yet it had its own set of limitations, problems. Further developments in the same science, in the same technique called electrophoresis, made blood and other bodily fluids important tools for crime detection. That's what the passage talks about. Question number 1, the passage is primarily concerned with doing what? Option A says, describing how advances in crime detection methods have led to new discoveries in science. It is the converse of what we need. The new discoveries in science have led to advances in crime detection methods, and not the opposite, not the converse. Various ways in which crime detection laboratories assist the police. Narrow point of discussion, if at all. The development of new scientific tools for use in crime detection. That's exactly what the passage talks of. Areas of current research. The passage is a chronological account of how the science of crime detection advanced. It's all written in the past tense. And therefore, the areas of current research become an alien idea, factually incorrect. It can be inferred from the passage that electrophoresis resembles fingerprinting, in that both of them provide a form of negative identification. Now, this is written only of ABO type blood typing. We don't know whether electrophoresis and fingerprinting can both be used in a negative identification, for negative identification. So this is alien. They were both first developed by British scientists. We know this only in case of electrophoresis. Where did fingerprinting originate? We don't know. This is also out. Option C, it may be they both may be used to help identify those who were present at the time of a crime. Since both of them are methods in crime detection, option C naturally follows. Option D, they were developed by scientists at around the same time. Not really. Fingerprinting had been there much before electrophoresis came to the scene. Therefore, this is opposite. Option C is the correct answer. The author sets off the word donor with quotation marks in order to do what? Okay. Author says here, rather than a plentiful sample of blood freshly drawn from a patient, the crime laboratory is likely to receive only a tiny fleck of dried blood of unknown age from an unknown donor. Okay. So this donor is ironic here. Author shows the irony here. The criminal did not voluntarily donate the blood, and therefore the use of the word donor is ironic in this context. He has set it off with quotation marks to show that the blood was given unintentionally. The criminal did not donate the blood per se, which means option D, to indicate that the blood samples received by the crime laboratories are not given freely, is the correct answer. The only close choice, the other close choice was option A, to show that it comes from anonymous sources. However, the author has already used the word unknown here. Therefore, this word would become redundant. The idea of anonymity has already been taken care of by this word. The use of the word donor serves a different purpose. It shows the irony involved in this entire idea. The passage contains information that would answer to the following questions. Option A says, is evidence of genetic markers in bodily fluids admissible in court? We don't know that. Can electrophoresis be used to identify genetic markers in saliva? It is written in the last line that developments in electrophoresis made the study of blood and other fluid samples an even more valuable tool. And other bodily fluid samples refers to perspiration and saliva, as mentioned in the passage earlier, which means yes, electrophoresis can be used to identify genetic markers in saliva. B is correct. What is the precise number of subgroups of blood types that are currently identifiable? We only know that in the past, this number reached several thousand. But what is the current number and what is the precise number? We don't know. It is possible that the number today runs in lakhs. We don't know that. How accurate is the process of electrophoresis? Passage has never talked about the accuracy of this process. So it also goes out. Last question. All the following may reduce the usefulness of a fluid sample for crime detection except, okay. Third paragraph tells us the problems associated with sampling. Only a tiny fleck of red blood is available. It is of unknown age, unknown donor. It has spent hours of or days exposed to air, high temperature, and other contaminants. Okay. So the passage of time, yes, it has spent hours or days. So passage of time does reduce the usefulness. Discoloration, not seen anywhere. Exposure to heat, high temperature. Small size of sample, yes, tiny fleck of blood is available. So all these three affect the usefulness of fluid sample. B does not. Correct answer B. It was a 515 passage, easy level passage, straight and sweet read. Cheers to learning. Keep practicing. Keep improving.